You talk about Robert's rules of order. I see you post about that. It's a common term with HOAs a lot of the time. Can I have Justin's rules of order instead of Robert's rules, or who's Robert? Talk to me. Like, why is Robert so popular?
Your association could adopt Justin's rules of order, and good luck with that. It would be fine because the statute says that if the association hasn't adopted a different parliamentary authority, it will follow the latest edition of Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised, without putting everybody listening to this podcast to sleep. The short version is that Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised, is the 800-pound gorilla of the parliamentary world. It's a book on meetings rules. And the short version would be that membership meetings tend to be a little more formal. You're not supposed to talk without getting called on. You're not supposed to talk more than 10 minutes at one time. You're really not supposed to talk a second time as long as there's somebody who wants to talk a first time on an issue. You can then talk a second time, and eventually we'll vote on stuff. And by either a majority or a 2/3 vote, depending on what we're voting on, the group will make the decision. Boards under Roberts are much more relaxed, and that's sort of the theme I'm trying to pass through with Roberts. Is membership meetings tend to be formal. Board meetings don't have to be that formal. Board meetings can be very relaxed. The board can sit around a kitchen table and just kind of talk about stuff and nod on things, and that will probably be sufficient. So there's small board procedure, there's big board procedure. And the idea of the General Assembly when they adopted the statute on Roberts in about 2005 was members ought to have some idea of what the rules are going to be before they show up at a meeting. There ought to be some fairness aspect to that, so that Justin, as the chair, isn't just making up rules and nobody knows what to do about them. Instead, the statute says, here are some ground rules that everybody should expect. And they're the same ground rules you'd probably run into at a city council meeting or a county commission meeting or a PTA meeting.
Let me tell you my two rules that I would have, Jim. I'm gonna be honest with you. My first rule is gonna be give me apple juice instead of orange juice at the annual meeting. I'm sick of orange juice. I'm sorry, it's just the way I am. And if you're gonna have a vote and move on with your life. And then those would be my two rules, right? The vote wins at the end of the day, but they don't ask my opinion, Jim. I'm going to be honest with you. That's okay.